What if I told you that Iraq is about to make one of the biggest financial moves in its modern history? A shift that could redefine how the Iraqi dinar is valued, traded, and recognized around the world. Yes, you heard that right. The Central Bank of Iraq has just confirmed a bold new direction, one that could reshape the country's economy for years to come. This isn't just another rumor. This is official, strategic, and part of a much larger 2025 economic reform package that could finally unlock Iraq's full monetary independence. Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News Today, your trusted source for real updates, smart analysis, and deep insights into Iraq's evolving financial story. Now, let's dive right into what this monumental change really means for the dinar, and for everyone watching it closely. A new era for the Iraqi dinar. For decades, Iraq's currency system has followed a familiar pattern. The dinar has been tied, or pegged, to the US dollar, giving the economy a sense of predictability after years of conflict and rebuilding. That peg acted as a safety net, protecting Iraq from runaway inflation and currency panic. But it came with a price. When your currency is locked to someone else's, in this case, the US dollar, you give up a big part of your own economic freedom. You can't fully respond to local challenges, you can't set your own interest rates independently, and your economy moves in step with another country's decisions. Now, the Central Bank of Iraq, or CBI, says it's ready to change that. The shift from pegged to managed float under the new plan, Iraq will adopt what's called a managed float exchange rate system. Don't let the term sound too technical. Here's what it really means. In a managed float, the dinar's value won't be fixed at a single number anymore. Instead, it will move slowly, carefully, and within limits, based on real economic conditions. That means the CBI will still keep control, stepping in if things move too fast or too far. But for the first time in decades, the market, not just government intervention, will have a say in where the dinar stands. It's like taking the training wheels off, but keeping a steady hand nearby, just in case. Why this matters: this shift is more than just a technical tweak, it's a message. It tells the world that Iraq's economy is maturing. The CBI believes the country is ready to stand more independently, to let its own data and economic performance drive its currency's value. Under a managed float, Iraq's exchange rate will respond to factors like trade balances, inflation rates, the strength of foreign reserves, and real market demand for the dinar. In short, the dinar will start reflecting Iraq's actual economic health, not just the price of oil or a fixed political decision. Years in the making, but let's be clear, this didn't happen overnight. Since 2023, Iraq has been quietly laying the groundwork for this move. It has worked with international partners like the US, Treasury, the IMF, and the World Bank to clean up its banking system, modernize its payment infrastructure, and strengthen anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing standards. Why? Because you can't modernize a currency until your financial system is trustworthy. That's why we've seen a major push toward digital payments, e-banking, and real-time transaction monitoring. The goal has been to make Iraq's system more transparent, auditable, and ready to connect to the global financial network through systems like SWIFT and the Arab Monetary Fund's regional payment platform. This is the quiet revolution happening behind the headlines, the technological and legal foundation for Iraq's next financial chapter. Reclaiming monetary sovereignty. So what's the ultimate goal here? In the words of CBI officials, it's about monetary sovereignty. That's more than just a buzzword. It means Iraq wants full control over its own money, its own decisions, without being forced to follow the policy of another country. For years, Iraq's heavy use of the US dollar in trade, banking, and even daily pricing has made it vulnerable. When the US Federal Reserve raises or lowers interest rates, Iraq feels it, even if it doesn't fit Iraq's economy. By moving to a managed float, Iraq can finally start tailoring its own monetary policy. It can adjust interest rates, control inflation, and respond to local conditions rather than imported ones. That's real independence. Part of a bigger 2025 vision, this reform isn't just about currency. It's part of a bigger 2025 national economic vision. Iraq's leaders want to diversify the economy, reduce dependence on oil, and encourage private sector growth. A flexible currency plays a key role in that plan. It helps price non-oil exports more accurately, supports new industries, and makes Iraq more resilient to global oil price swings that have historically created boom and bust cycles. At the same time, the government's digital banking push, encouraging citizens to move away from cash and into electronic payments, supports transparency and fights the black market exchange system that has long complicated Iraq's financial stability. The end goal, a more stable, modern economy, one where citizens, investors, and trading partners can all have more confidence in the dinar. Building confidence at home and abroad, that confidence is crucial. For Iraqi citizens, this transition could eventually mean a stronger, more stable dinar. It could reduce inflation, make imported goods more affordable, and strengthen purchasing power. For international investors, a transparent, market-driven system is a sign that Iraq is serious about reform. It shows that the country wants to be part of the global financial community, not isolated from it. Already, there are signs that global banks are preparing for this shift. Some major U.S. institutions have been upgrading their systems to include live rate tracking for the Iraqi dinar, an important technical step that usually precedes broader international engagement. And as Iraq continues to grow its foreign currency reserves and gold holdings, it's building the financial ammunition needed to defend its currency during this transition. Regional and global implications, the ripple effects, could go far beyond Iraq. Neighboring countries like Jordan, Turkey, and even Iran are watching closely. If Iraq successfully transitions to a stable, flexible exchange rate, it could become a model for others in the region that also want to reduce dependence on the U.S. dollar. Globally, this aligns with a broader trend. Many emerging economies, including members of the BRICS alliance, are working to promote local currencies in trade and finance, creating a more multipolar monetary world. With its natural resources, strategic location, and renewed focus on independence, Iraq could become a key player in that shift. Challenges on the road ahead, but let's not romanticize it. This journey won't be easy. Iraq still faces deep-rooted challenges: corruption, uneven infrastructure, and a heavy reliance on oil revenues. Transitioning to a flexible exchange rate must be managed with extreme care. Too much volatility could spark inflation or panic. Too little flexibility could stall the reform entirely. That's why the CBI's gradual approach makes sense. Officials are expected to conduct simulations, pilot programs, and data-driven testing before fully launching the new framework. And the presence of international partners like the IMF and World Bank provides technical guidance, helping Iraq align with global best practices and avoid the pitfalls that have hurt other developing economies during similar transitions. The 10-year coexistence theory now. Let's shift to another major discussion point making waves in the dinar community, a concept being talked about by well-known commentator Frank 26. The idea of a 10-year coexistence period. So what is this theory and why is it so important? According to this perspective, Iraq's currency reform may not happen as one dramatic, overnight RV event, but as a gradual, multi-year process. Instead of immediately swapping out all existing high-denomination notes for new, smaller ones, both types could circulate together, side by side, for up to a decade. That means the old and new dinars could both remain legal tender while the economy transitions to a more modern, digital-based system. A marathon, not a sprint. This 10-year coexistence idea fundamentally changes how many people think about the dinar's future. For years, some have expected a sudden one-day revaluation, an instant flip of the switch. But this theory suggests something more deliberate, more patient, and arguably more stable. Why would the CBI choose such a slow rollout? Because big economic transitions take time. By phasing in the change, Iraq could avoid shocks to the economy. It would give banks, businesses, and citizens time to adjust, to learn how to use the new system without confusion or panic. It also allows the government to slowly withdraw old notes from circulation, strengthen electronic payments, and ensure every step is backed by data and stability. A strategic long game. If this long-term approach is accurate, it also reflects a smarter kind of reform. Rather than chasing instant results, Iraq may be focusing on building credibility, proving to the world that its currency can function transparently and independently. This is how lasting economic strength is built, not through quick announcements, but through consistent, disciplined execution. And for anyone following the dinar, this means expectations should shift from when to how. Instead of waiting for a single event, the real story may be a decade-long evolution, one where Iraq gradually regains its place as a financially sovereign nation. The alignment of policy and vision, one of the most encouraging signs right now, is how synchronized Iraq's leadership seems to be. The Prime Minister, the Finance Ministry, and the Central Bank are all speaking the same language, emphasizing stability, sovereignty, and modernization. That unity of message is something Iraq hasn't always had in the past. But today, the coordination between fiscal and monetary policy suggests that this reform is not just political theater. It's a genuine, coordinated national strategy. What comes next as we approach 2025, every announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq will matter. Each statement, each technical test, and each update on digital payment systems will tell us how close the nation is to flipping the switch on this new framework. But one thing is certain, Iraq is no longer just talking about change, it's doing the work. This is not about rumor or speculation anymore. It's about policy, infrastructure, and a country preparing to redefine its place in the global economy. We're watching a financial transformation in real time, a nation rebuilding its identity through deliberate, strategic reform. Final thoughts, so, where does that leave us? Iraq's currency story is evolving from one of uncertainty and rumor into one of structure and purpose. Whether the managed float system goes fully live in 2025 or rolls out gradually over several years, the direction is clear. Iraq is reclaiming control of its financial future. For investors, for citizens, and for those following the dinar closely, this means paying attention not just to headlines, but to systems, policies, and signals of institutional strength. Because in the end, real value doesn't come from speculation. It comes from a nation's ability to stand on its own financial feet. And that wraps up today's deep dive into Iraq's new monetary strategy and the evolving story of the dinar. We'll keep tracking every official announcement, every policy update, and every signal that helps paint the full picture of this historic reform. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and keeps you informed with the latest updates straight from Iraqi Dinar News Today. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more clear, factual, and in-depth coverage of Iraq's financial future. Disclaimer: the information provided on Iraqi Dinar News Today is for educational and informational purposes only. We do not provide financial, investment, or trading advice. All content shared on this channel is based on publicly available data and personal opinions. Viewers are advised to do their own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Iraqi Dinar News Today is not affiliated with any government agency, bank, or financial institution.